Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Airport CEO. And we fixed this up a little bit. I've tried to pretty it up a little bit more than what I usually would do. But yeah, all in all, I think that's looking pretty good. I'm still wondering about the placement of that. Just so close to parked planes and the air and the runway and things like that. So anyway, we will continue to keep an eye on that development over there. But what we need to do is plan out our other airport services. Now, we need those services to be pretty close to the road connection. So that's why this area is not a bad idea. Let's go back into planning mode and quickly kind of sort that out. Our money is slowly coming back in again. I'll speed it up a little bit. Excuse me, and we'll see where that goes. So one of the key things we will need to place in this area is the medium jet fuel. Excuse me. And I'm kind of contemplating whether it's somewhere it could potentially go in there. So I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to close this one down. Okay, delete it, get ourselves off of planning mode for a second, see about cleaning up a little bit more room here. Excuse me, what's going on? What's going on? Trying to do maybe something like this and then placing it in here, and we should be able to get an extra little piece there. Let's quickly see about fixing that up. I think that's something that I need to do, a medium. Now, if we do it over here, we do it over there, that kind of seems sensible. Quickly put on the planning mode again and quickly double check that. So if I do if I do this, right? Can I then also put in, oh, what's that? Hang on. Oh, I haven't got the fuel tanks. But the fuel tanks, I believe, can go in there. Will that work? And then we leave a little bit of extra room here. I like that. I'd rather do, let's leave that in the place for now. Let's go and do that. At the same time, I would like us to quickly sort out just how this looks. So I'm not a big fan of that, though. Not a big fan of that. Can we? If we do this. I'm almost tempted moving this whole thing up by one. Let's do that. Let's move up that access point by one, similar to what we've done thus far. It's here, right? There we go. So if I do that, yeah, I think that's appropriate. That's appropriate. So we'll tie it in on this side. Yeah, that's going to work. And what we'll do is we'll trim that out, tie it in over there, and I think that's going to be all good. I think this should work. Here we go. That should work. Now let's just get our fencing back up before we have all kinds of stuff running on the runway. Okay, that should do. So this should be able to be filled up at some point. Now let's move on to the rest. So let's go back into planning mode and see about this one. So this one needs to be accessible. That one, on the other hand, potentially just needs access like so. So if I plan that, right, and we then go with this guy, it's not actually going to work. Okay. That was my concern. Can we please get this thing resupplied? Trying this one more time. So if we go with... We could squeeze it in over here. Okay, that is now being resupplied. Okay, that aircraft emergency was sorted out. I think similarly, if we do that, it won't work. We'll have to do something like this, and I think that could work. If we do something like that, that could work. And now let's quickly have a look at this one. And then that could work as well. Something like this. And then we could have a few things parked over here. Yeah, I think that'll work. We'll do this. Okay, there we go. Now, so in order to make that work though, I will be... where would this guy actually get its... Okay, so if I run that through there, and I run probably up to about there. And now let's quickly let's go back out of planning mode and fix our fences the way we would like to fix them. So I would like to do this. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll tie this in over here. Okay, so that should work. That should tie in over there. That should tie in over there. No problems. And this, however, will be tying in over here. So something like that is how it will work. These guys will get in and out. And I think that's pretty reasonable. That's pretty reasonable to maintain. We'll have to see how we deal with some of this stuff. But anyway, that's all good. All good for now. All good for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of it over there. This is going to continue being our parking operation. And then what we can do over here is put a couple of depots in. But unfortunately, that is slightly further afield. So I think what I'll rather do is put a little bit of a parking area over here. So let's grab a parking area. So we have something like that. So we'll grab ourselves a bit of a parking area. And I'm thinking, how wide is that? That's 4 wide. So we could put 2 of them in here. And then that area is pretty full. So if we do this, right? That will facilitate a bit of a parking area for us. So let's do that. So these guys will have access in this location. That should provide its access. And what we'll do is we'll just asphalt this thing up all the way. I think that's the best solution here. So this gives us a little bit more to go on. Might be a little out of the way, and I'm kind of tempted just for a bit of just to break things up a little bit. Let's do that. Can I not? That really just doesn't want to do anything, does it? Something like that, but this it definitely doesn't want to do that underneath the fencing. But anyway, there we go. So now we've got that. What I'll do is I will close this one, and we will also get rid of it, and we'll get rid of all of that. And now I think this area is filled up a little bit better now. Look, there's still probably more roads and stuff in here than we actually need, but all in all, I think that is looking pretty good. So now we can start offering some of these services. Of course, what we will need to do is provide, let's get ourselves a slightly larger ATC tower. which will be over here. Get the medium ATC. Of course, we don't want it to be... So I think something like this. Yeah, that's could be a little close to our... though these are all small. There's definitely no mediums running them here. I think something like that is probably about good. Let's get that ATC over there. I can get rid of that one, I think, at the same time. Now that that's built, I can get rid of that one. Potentially, we can have access to the runway up here instead of through there. Something that I'm wondering about. Let's provide ourselves with a little bit more here. Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. That's pretty good. Okay. So now that setup is looking pretty awesome. What we need to provide is a depot. So we need one of these vehicle depots somewhere over here. So now that's been sorted, that's all good. So this area is really not going to be used for that much, unless we're saying potentially de-icing. What does the de-icing fluid depot? Oh, de-icing fluid depot could be added in here. Just thinking about it. If we get rid of one of those, we can add the de-icing fluid over there for delivery. Yeah, so that should be good. Let's go to R&D, have a quick look at what's going on here. So de-icing permit, we'll get the fjord truck up and running. We slowly start doing more of that. Once that one's done, we'll be able to increase that also. Awesome, look at that. I've added some lights in here, just so that these it's a little bit improved. We can have a look at how we improve some of this a little bit further. But I think this is a pretty decent operation over here, and now we'll start with some real expansion stuff over here as well. So I think one of the things we need to do quite quickly is get this up and running. We can build those, but I think that's probably something we need to do fairly quickly. These taxiways are going to cost us a fair bit to do. That's for small aircraft to get off. That should be about right, I think. Yeah, we can get small aircraft to come off of here. They will run that way. Look, ultimately, we probably should just run it straight down here and not have that. Fuel tanks is completed. Let's quickly pop in here, have a look at R&D. So with fuel tanks completed, there's nothing else for us to do. So let's go back and assign all of the rest of our guys there and in there. Now I can quickly have a look to see whether we can actually slot a fuel tank in here. Part of what I'm thinking is we're doing. Oh, look at that. I think I'll go ahead and do that, just FYI. We'll get some fuel tanks in there. The icing can go in here, and then now. Okay, we need, the only thing we need here, apart from potentially doing the icing. So let's go back into planning mode. And if this is on the way to the runways, not for these guys so much, but we'll see. So if we go in here and we say the icing pad for medium planes, we could presumably squeeze that in here somewhere. So we could do something like this, right? Have the de-icing pad parked up here somewhere. So we can potentially do something like this. Okay, so that's one of our options through here. So I think I'll plan it in there, okay, with some additional, some of this. Okay, there we go. So that's kind of the intent with the de-icing one. So if we do that, then this area up here could then become available for planning some more. Yeah, so that's going to be quite close to this, but I think that will be okay. That little section by itself is probably okay. unless we move this a little bit. Let's do that. Let's instead bring that up a little bit more. Give me that de-icing pad, the medium one. Over here. I'm not sure it's really necessary. No de-icing in Perth. Because there's no de-icing in Perth, I do wonder whether we should do that. I'm in two minds about de-icing. Tell me in the comments down below whether you think we should also do de-icing, even though we're in Western Australia with this airport. It just doesn't. I don't believe they de-ice stuff over here. But anyway, we've got some provision for de-icing, and now what we can do is we can look at some provision for parking, basically. So what I'll need to do is it'll need to be somewhere in here, right? It generally can't do that because that's a little too close. So I think, yeah, we would want to keep 2 free. So really the only option we're going to have is somewhere in here, in which case we may as well do it like this. Right? The option is something like that. Yeah, actually there's some merits in doing this. So if I do that, and I just do a little extra section of roadway that comes out that way, and it's kind of, yeah, it feels a little awkward. So these guys and those guys will have to do this. It does feel a little awkward to me to have it like that. And this will be pretty busy also, so kind of in two minds as to whether that is achievable. What we can do is we can run it up here. Okay, I think that's going to be more appropriate. So let's do that. We'll run this road up this side. Sorry, I'm planning. That's what I'm doing here. I'm planning things out. Whether that is appropriate or not, I'm planning it out nonetheless. So I'm kind of tempted. Shall we run this up here and have slightly bigger? Because I know this thing works a little bit better if we have a bit of a runway, a bit of a roundabout going. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. Let's get out of planning mode and let's quickly pause the game while we quickly see what we can do in terms of roundabout. So if I do that, right, and I want to make sure we do there. Okay, now give me this service road. We'll do that. We'll do that, and we'll do that, and we'll do something like this. In which case, this doesn't want to work, does it? This will allow for a variety of different options, but it's a little bit too close. Yeah, I think that will not necessarily be best. I'm kind of in two minds about it. Let's forget about the roundabout thing, and we'll just centralize. We'll just center it in here. Yeah, I think that's okay because they want to go in and out in both situations. And they potentially want to move through there. So let's do something like that. Give ourselves a one-way through movement so they can go around this way and not have to, well, whether they do it on this side, it's not the end of the world either. So anyway, we'll do that. That'll be what we'll do. And now we can actually start. Oh, and now we need to actually, the one thing that I was planning on doing is the depot. Then the depot can go in here. And we can also run the depot right over there. Give ourselves a little bit more room to maneuver. Or we can run it in there. No, we're not running it in there. We could do it in here with a little bit of extra room, basically. But I think on this side might be more appropriate. So let's do that. Oh, built it already. That's okay. Now let's see. If I do that and that, that'll tie it in. Okay, now let's go ahead and start building some of this stuff. So what I would like us to do is we need to build that. Okay, that cost a fair bit of money. We need to build some of these little roads here. I don't mind us doing that. So let's build some roads up to there. I think that's pretty good. I'll need to build some of these in between. Now we would like to make sure that that we're doing things properly here. I'm not going to go those just yet. That's been done. We can obviously fix some of that a little bit more. Now what we can do is let's start. If we start out with this one, we've get there's more taxiway to be built, but less terminal. If we started with this one, there's more terminal and less taxiway. So if I would like to do this, right? What does that look like? 200, and so that's practically our last bits of millions. If I wanted to do all of this, that's 225 as well. If I wanted to do all of those, oh, those are 150. So wouldn't be able to do all of them all at once, I would think. If I run through here, that's another 200. If I run through there, that's another 200. So this is going to be a pretty pricey expansion. So let's start off by building out all of that, and building out all of that, and building out all of this, and building out all of that. Right? Wow. Now we're in trouble. I'm thinking I'm going to borrow some money. Okay, so I should be able to take out a loan, right? For how much? We're going to need at least, I'm just going to go with that one. That seems to be a reasonable one. Let's take out that loan and finish off the entire construction here apart from that. Let me go and finish that off. Let's just finish it off. I think that is in fact the plan. So we'll do about that much. We don't have hangers just yet. We still need a fair bit of other stuff to go in here. We need to come up here and let's finish off all of this. Excellent. I'm loving that. We will at the same time. So let's clear out this. Let's upgrade these guys. Build a jetway. Build a jetway, please. And build a jetway. There we go. Now this is in only. This is out. And that is out. This needs to do small as well. It's not going to do general aviation. Takeoff mode, common takeoff positions. That's fine. Operational mode in both directions. That's okay. Now let's feed our stuff in here. I believe we're all good here. This doesn't cost us anything, by the way. Let's do that. Link those up. Run it through there. All the way through there. And there. So for small aircraft, we'll do that one. Is that linked up? Oh, yeah, it is. It is in fact linked up. We can certainly run it around there. We can run it through here. Oh, I think I still had a little piece there that I need to get rid of, but we'll sort that out in due course. We can link this one through there. That's all good. That means all of this is linked up. What is this missing? It's missing all kinds of different things at the moment. So if we go in here, what we'll do is we'll clean this up and we'll link up our security zone. Okay, so once that's linked up, that should be all good. That means this can now work. This is not actually linked to it, so let's link that there. We'll link that here. One. The other one, please. There we go. I wouldn't mind seeing some medium flights starting to come on in. There and the other one. And there. Okay, so why is this still not operational? Arrival runway not connected. Oh, that one needs to be opened. That's fine. That's all good. But what I'll need to do is I'll need to link this up to baggage claim. So let's page down and link it there. Grab this one. Link it. Grab that one. We'll link it. Departure runway. So now it's just the runway that's not connected. Get up and running. So now it should actually work. So this one will be, so that's A1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one will be A6. This one will be A7. And that one will be A8. Good. Now that should do the trick. I can open up this runway. And it should all work. I can do some upgrades by adding approach lights. I can build a bird strike prevention system somewhere over here, I think. And I can upgrade it even more by building some PAPI lights. Believe that's about the right location. I'll just do that, and we won't do that. There we go. So now I believe that should all be quite kind of working. I will also just link this up over here. There we go. I think that's okay. Oh, there's another project done. Now what we don't have is a direct kind of connection to that side. If we do this, now we've got access to that runway. We can actually get access over here, make that whole access piece a little easier to deal with. So in that case, we can actually trim back some of this stuff. Let's trim that back. I am quite comfortable to get rid of that, so we don't have that access point there. So this is the access point to the two runways. That should work quite nicely for us, I believe. Now we can start seeing some planes. I'm not sure if we've got medium planes ready to go, but we'll see. We'll see. All of that should be okay. Excellent. Now that cost us a fair bit of money. I'm hoping we will start making money soon. But for us to make money, we really need to operate some of these things a little bit better. While we've got some money available, I may as well go ahead and install this stuff. That's done. I will need to just do a little bit more in the kind of cleaning up space here. I'll do some of this. That just feels a little bit more natural to me. That's all good. We can do something very similar over here, actually. And probably run it all the way in there. Yeah, that looks pretty reasonable. That looks pretty reasonable. There's not a lot in it down here. I do need to fill up these walls again, because they're not sure what they're supposed to be doing there, but they look a little awkward. So I'll do that. I'll just fill that up. Have I not built those? My goodness, let's quickly build that. I keep hitting that wrong button now. Oh, there we go. We'll see what we use this for. This could actually become, yeah, I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. There's nothing here in terms of facilities just yet, but we should be able to start making use of these stands now. Now let's have a quick look. Has anything been scheduled in? Do we even get the larger planes on these? So this can have small planes, but no GA over here, right? No GA. So it can actually go to those and to those. Perfect. That's all good. Now, I think we need to get ourselves another contract. So let's grab another contract. Offered contracts for airlines, please. Now, I would like something that's going to give us a little bit bigger planes. So actually, what have we here? Can we renegotiate this? Oh, they actually do give us medium flights. So let's negotiate this one. Fee per medium flight, please. We'll go and try and get a little bit more money from the mediums, and we'll put a little bit of this in place, and we'll see if that'll come our way. Accepted. Beautiful. So hopefully we'll get some medium flights coming in from there. And Forest, let's renegotiate. They'll offer us medium flights also. So let's up that very similarly. Let's just go with that, and we'll give them one. And we'll send that. There we go. So we're slowly... Oh! What? Okay, so hopefully that means we're going to get some mediums. Small still. Now the question is, maybe let's grab one extra one. Offered contract. So let's get... Shall we do Edwards Bay? Because they've landed here a few times, and we'll do that. So let's sign Edwards Bay, please. So Edwards Bay can now also start landing here, and hopefully they'll start using these ones. Now, in order to make them work, we need to buy a few more vehicles. So let's procure a few more vehicles. I think at the very least, we do need to provide some additional of those. So at the moment, we've got the fuel truck Jet A1, which I'm not too sure. I don't really want to go to it. I don't want to buy the big ones just yet, but we may be able to do the Fjord trucks, the smaller Fjord trucks. That 2000, the Mavericks, vehicle checkpoint, vehicle depot. It's slow and ineffective, but cheap to operate. The fuel flow much faster. So that's kind of the thing, right? Yeah, let's just buy at least one more of these guys. We'll see if that works for us. Small belt load. Rampage is servicing. Okay, so that needs to go to a maintenance hangar. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Let's get at least a couple of belt loaders. We don't need the large ones. We need at least a couple of small push force trucks there. We don't need this guy because we have the gate directly in there. So the rest should all be good. So new products have arrived. So I'm hoping to see some medium flights come on in. Oh, that guy is needing to go to its hangar. Let's just go back here. Edwards Bay is not offering us anything just yet. Oh, hang on. Probably something I need to switch on. Proactive cleaning disabled. Proactive cleaning enabled. Proactive repairs. Distribute evenly amongst the runways. Do we have to switch on medium flights? Doesn't seem to be the case. We need to actually get those contracts in place so that we can and provide a few vehicles for them. So we do need to buy a few vehicles there. What are we missing? Janitors and service technicians. I will go and grab a few more staff in that variety. Janitors, 1, 2 janitors and some service technicians, please. Maybe just the 1 is going to be okay. We really need to get this balance up a little bit better. Now, we need some vehicles to allow us to do the cleaning, right? So in order to do that, actually what we need to do is let's go and get a contract first. So economy, offered contracts for not aviation fuel, catering food supplies, Sky Garden, I believe. Ooh, hang on, we'll double check that. 3-7. So Conway Catering seems to be the one. Yeah, Conway Catering, please. That's a pretty decent number there. Okay, we'll sign Conway Catering, thank you. And de-icing fluid, anything else? We don't need the garbage truck contract. Doesn't seem to be the case. Okay, well, we need some vehicles, so let's get some vehicles. Now, we need catering and aircraft cabin cleaning. So let's just get one of those and one of those. Okay, they've both arrived. I think that should be okay for now. And that will actually allow us to offer aircraft catering services and aircraft cleaning services. Excellent. Now, popping back in here, there's our first medium flight coming in. Yes, let's see what that entails. At what time is it coming in? It's coming in at 4 a.m. Pretty keen on seeing that coming in. Let's speed things up a little bit. Okay, what we will need... I wanted to... Oh, what is that? No, that's just a small plane. Okay, so what I want to do here... actually, that connection is not strictly speaking required. But what we'll do here is... that'll be a one-way into that direction. This will be a one-way into this direction. And that'll be a one-way in the other direction. So we'll run a few one-way operations through there. That one and that one. That one and that one. And that one and that one. Now here... it'll be just that, and there it'll be that way. Okay, just get all my one-ways in place. And that way, this is micromanaging things, but for the sake of correctness, I think, let's make sure we've got that sorted out. So I think that should sort everything out. This is two-way, but the big guys are one-way. And potentially what this means is that I should actually move this over here, set that to one-way over there. And what we'll do is we will remove that one. So I think that's appropriate. We'll see how that goes. That should sort things out a little bit for us. And if once we need a hangar, we can get it over here. What's going on? Arrival runway is not connected. Of course it's connected. Oh, it's not. It's not connected because it needs to be connected over here. That'll go away now. Come on. Come on. No, there's another problem. Okay. Okay, that should now be connected. Yeah, all good. All good before 4 a.m., before that flight comes in. Now, let's have a look. We should start seeing passengers arriving for it. So let's see about offering a little bit of a place for people to kind of hang out. So what will this kind of look like? Now, if we wanted to run... Yeah, I think we probably would run the travelators on this side and have people kind of just park themselves over here, right? That seems pretty reasonable to me. Okay, so there's a little bit of seated arrangement there. What we can also do is provide some form of window treatment here. We'll do a little bit of this. Just go downstairs. Ooh, it's not quite that, is it? I'm gonna make sure we do it exactly the same way as downstairs. Yes, and then of course what we've done is it's the wrong way around. Crap. Fix. There we go. So that should fix it all up. Once we clear this out, there and there, 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 and there, and we'll go there, and there, and there. So now there's some windows there. Let's just fix off the some of this stuff. There's at least some seating available in the immediate vicinity of gates. People should really not be walking through here. Can we do some form of one-way operations? I don't think so. We don't have one-way doors. We don't have one-way, anything one-way apart from potentially the travelators. Anything here that's going to go like one-way roads only. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have anything that does that allows us the one-way operation. So we have people coming up and down here. It's going to be the case. Oh, here we go, our first flight. Hopefully, people will channelize straight through here. I believe they will. Awesome. There they go, channelizing straight through that section where they will go down and find themselves the bathroom, which will be right there, and baggage. Okay, we're starting to see this. Let's open this one up for business as well. We should see enough staff here so that we can run through this a little quicker. Actually, catering and all of these kind of things is happening straight away. What's happening here with this? We probably need some additional vehicles. What's going on with our vehicles? What staff do we need? We need 2 security officers. We need a bit more ramp agents and more janitors. Let's hire a few more staff members. So if we're going with ramp agents, let's hire 1, 2, 3 ramp agents. Let's reject a few. I'll hire that one as well. So 4 new ramp agents. And then security officers, about 2 of them. 1 and 2 security officers. I'll reject this one for the time being. Excellent. So there we go. Hopefully that sorts things out a little bit. Look at this. Look at this. This guy is doing tons of stuff over here. We may have to do something upstairs as well. But I think this is going to be efficient. Do we provide this with a queue? No, we do not. Excellent. Now we've got another plane. People are immediately getting down there, going down for their baggage. Excellent. Both the baggage handling is working. What's going on with our check-in operation and our security? All good. Someone is stuck. Ah, okay. Someone is stuck. I don't think this is what's going to help. They basically need access directly to downstairs here. So can we? Yeah, we can provide staff access through this stuff. Yeah. The question is, could we provide it through here, and will it work? If I do this, yeah, that's not actually going to work because they can't actually cross there. This, it seems, is no real problem. So what I'll do is I will just put a couple of doors in here, which we will assume is staff doors. I think if I do that, our issues will kind of resolve here. Something like this, and then in which case we'll also need to kind of clear this out. But give me some walls, and then what I'll do is I'll just put the new security stuff in place here. Here we go. So hopefully this allows our ramp agents to find their way. Yeah, I believe they're on their way now. So hopefully that sorts things out for us. Yeah, there they go. It's an issue, but anyway, they're there now. They're doing it. So we've probably got some delays going on, but it should be okay. What I would think we need to do is add a little bit more seating. If we do that, I think that should help things out a little bit. A bit more seating right there. We could even do a little bit more seating there, but I don't think that's okay. That's fine. I think we're okay. I wanted to staff area this a little bit. Staff zone. So I just wanted to make sure we staff zone at least the middle section there, so that we don't get that. What I would like to do also is provide a little bit more information. Oh, it needs to be interesting. Okay. Didn't quite realize that'll be an issue. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll just do some plants. So probably something like that. Yeah, that's okay. That's all good. Put some plants in there, and then what we'll do is we'll do a few other pieces in there. There we go. So that looks at least a little bit nicer. Good stuff. So now we've got the these going. Are we boarding yet? Not really. We should see those be pretty effective. These guys are coming up from there. They went down, went to the bathroom, came back. We could squeeze a bathroom in here, right? Yeah, I think we can do that. We need to look at what we're going to do here. Is that going to load people pretty quickly? Yeah, we could do even we can do two more to get it done a little quicker still. Oh, look at that. Money is starting to look pretty good. Okay, I want to follow this plane out, and that'll be the end of this episode. Again, a longish episode. Okay. There we go. On the move. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty awesome. We'll go up here. Awesome, awesome. Okay, that's the one. That's the small flight and the big one. There we go. I like it. I like it. There we go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Leave some comments down below. What are you thinking about our gameplay this time? I'm playing it way slower, much more detailed in terms of how I facilitate certain things, and taking my time in building and planning things out. Oh, you still need to tell me whether you think we should do de-icing as well. But yeah, all in all, taking my time, doing it slowly, steadily. We do need a hangar for the big guys. Probably it'll go in this section over here in between these little ponds. But yeah, all in all, I'm kind of liking it thus far. We could keep mediums separate, but yeah, we're going to see if we're going to run out of space on this side, and maybe we'll push this down a little bit. But I think that's going to be probably where we go with it. And then from here, what we'll do is we'll see what we do with the big guys. We'll obviously need, and we may do a little satellite terminal somewhere that's connected underground or something like that. We'll have to have a look at that. Guys, thank you so much. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.